On and off rain all day today. It's not expected to end anytime soon. If you're traveling for Easter Sunday, maybe you're getting a head start tomorrow, you're going to have to pay extra attention to the roadways. To make sure you know what you're doing to follow the law and keep other drivers around you safe, Megan Bragg verifies some claims about driving in storms here in North Carolina.
Our sources for these questions: Jen Thompson, a communications officer for the North Carolina Department of Transportation; Tiffany Wright, the director of public affairs for AAA of the Carolinas, North Carolina Law, and South Carolina Law. The first question: do you have to have your headlights on when using your windshield wipers in North and South Carolina? Both North and South Carolina law clearly state drivers are required to turn on their headlights while operating windshield wipers during inclement weather.
Anytime we're talking about inclement weather, anytime your view is going to be obstructed. So we're talking about fog. We're talking about anytime there's snow, there's rain, there's sleet. Anytime that you're using your windshield wipers, you have to have your headlights on.
I think it's the WOLO that you hear people say: wipers on, lights on. So you can kind of remember that acronym.
So we can verify that, yes, you have to have your headlights on when using your windshield wipers in North and South Carolina. The second question: is it illegal to drive with your hazards on when it rains? According to AAA, in about half of U.S. states, it's illegal to drive anywhere with your hazard lights on. That's not the case in the Carolinas. Drivers here can use their hazard lights when driving. There's no law preventing it, but officials say it's not the safest option.
Hazards during inclement weather can really distract other motorists. It can be a hazard for other motorists on the roadway. So it's not recommended that you use them.
I can see that it can make you look more visible when you see someone driving without their lights on versus having hazard lights on. But I think if you can just leave them off, drive at a slower speed.
So we can verify that, no, it is not illegal to drive with your hazards on when it rains, but officials don't recommend it.
Well, you just heard it is the law to turn on your headlights when you do have your wipers on, and you don't want to be that guy, again, who puts those hazards on in really heavy rain. It just makes things more dangerous for the other drivers. You can't use your blinker. They have no idea if you're ever switching lanes.
So I think that's one of the biggest things that kind of people don't think about. They say, okay, well, I'm focused, but you have to remember there are other people on the road. So defensive driving.
According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, there are nearly 1.2 million automobile accidents each year related to weather. A majority of those accidents happen during rainfall, 46% and 70% when the pavement is wet. If you do get in a fender bender, a lot of times we think it's not that big of a deal. I can just exchange info with the other person. Well, our insurance expert from State Farm says, you know what? Not a chance.
We also strongly recommend, even if you feel like it's a minor accident, always call the police and get a police report. Don't try to decide or determine who was truly at fault. Just get that police report, then call your insurance company, take good pictures, and let them handle it from there.
A police report, that is official paperwork, and it is your friend in an accident situation. Otherwise, it's your word against the word of the other driver. Don't even invite that kind of frustration. One last thing about rainy weather driving: don't use your cruise control. Here's why.
When you actually hit have a big splash or what have you, you should be slowing down. But with cruise control, it's going to actually make you speed up, which is not favorable in a condition like rain.